Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect. Today's beverages. A very refreshing and quite sharp burnt lemon soda. So welcome back to the game where previously we were in a bit of a pickle when it comes to a couple of things, money being the major part of it. We also were fighting with the regime as normal, but we cracked on in earnest and tried to get things sorted. We added in these additional cells here. We were running some... Don't trust that doctor. Running some different programs in order to do some reform, and well, for the most part, it is working out quite well. Money is very, very good at 80,000 generic units of currency. I'm just going to speed up to max speed because, quite frankly, the workers have a lot to do, mainly flooring. So in this one, we need to do a couple of things. I want to put some lights in the yard because it is, dark in the canteen in the yard in the middle. Put in some more of these here, which is going to be some extra protective custody, because if we go over to some informants here, we can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 inmates that are, well, would benefit from being in protective custody, shall we say. Yeah, so we'll have to sort that one out. And again, the regime, because we are eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, going to go for some medium risk. The problem is the regime, and the idea was this to have a... This is a... is this actually being planned? Sorry, let me just double check here. Flooring, and yes, it is planned. The workers are just busy with other things. So yes, the original idea was to have the sort of low, medium, high, supermax protective custody type of inmates, but all share a central section. As it's actually transpired, most of their needs are met in each individual cell block, and they only really come to the middle for the yard time and the canteen, and that's fine. So we just need to make sure that they're split up for that. Although work/free time, they will go in the workshop. So we'll just have to see. Truth be told, we might have to split the regime. So you've got 8 hours of sleep time. Actually, only 12 hours of sleep time, and then you have basically this split up into 3, but they can't sleep in the daytime from the 8 till 8. And then, yeah, make sure they're not interacting with one another in the middle as best we can, and I do stress as best. Anyway, let's go over to rooms here. I'm just going to remove this big section of common room. In fact, I'm going to remove all of it like so. That should be fine. And then we're going to put in the canteen and then these cells here. So we're going to do the cells first because it's an easy job. Over to wall yellow, and then we're just going to build it like this. It will require some moving of the lighting, which I will do like so. I'll put another bit of light in just because we can. There we go, and then the wall comes along here. Obviously slightly different in terms of the sizes, but not to matter. Let's go over to doors, and then jail door yellow. Those go in like so, and then we need to put in the objects, which is... I could put the comfy beds in, but I'm just going to stick with the standard, I think. So we'll have that. We'll have in the toilet and the shower and drains, because obviously it will flood absolutely everywhere if we don't put these in. If I can actually find the shower head, there we go. And that should be a legitimate cell, so that's fine. We'll need to change the flooring in it, so I'll have to sort that out too. Just trying to copy what we've done previously. So gym mats is like almost entrance there. We want a bird cage, which goes... Oh, actually, bird cage goes somewhere else. Bird cage goes where the inmates are technically not being affected by it. You can see this is not... It's where they're in the beds, but they will still have some sort of area effect around here when they're wandering around. So it's not as good as the other cells. Let me just put some TVs in here. Yeah, I'll show you that in a moment. Put these 1, 2, 3 like that. Yeah, so it's not as good as these cells where the bird cage is affecting the entire cell. So that is for the family and luxury needs, I think. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm not going to worry about it too much. I might get to sleep about 2, 3 a.m. And there we go. And I don't know why that bit of flooring is wrong. Let me just put that there. And then it was an iron floor along like so. Right, let me do the canteen and a common room. And I'm going to just put the common room in like so. It should be fine. Deployment is, once again, correct. That armory does not definitely need to be... the general shared access. We definitely don't want that. Right, over to here, and then we're going to have a, let's see, a canteen. I've just paused it for a moment while. Actually, do I need to do that? No, they're still building. Okay, so the canteen will be fairly standard. I think I'm going to put the canteen, I'll put the serving table there, and then we need to put in the normal table there, and then a bench in either side like so. And I think we can put in some phone booths. 1, 2, 3. It's a bit out the way, but it will do the job. And you can see we have got phone booths in here. It also means that once that's done, I will have to furnish that. So this is going to be a bit different to the other common rooms because you need in... well, we're going to put some pool tables in, like so. I'm going to put some prayer mats in, like so. Didn't actually mean that many. I'll remove a few, and then we'll leave space for something else. So that should be protective custody, and I think I will prioritize the building of the canteen, because once that's done, I have got logistics unlocked, but not food distribution. I have a feeling that it's set up correct. I'm going to trust the game, which I shouldn't do. Right, over to grants here, and we've got different options. Produce 10 superior beds for a carpentry apprenticeship. I could maybe go for that. Let's have a quick look at our programs. We're going to have a quick rundown to carpentry apprenticeship. Oh, 2 are interested. Okay. I'm going to put in... Do I put a temporary, or is it going to be temporary permanent? Yeah, dismantle these 2, prioritise it. And I'm going to pick up, for the grants, the carpentry apprenticeship. And then we're going to go for carpenter's table. There's 2 in there, like that. And it's also ripped out the electrical cable, so I'll fix that one. And then once that's in play, I should be able to produce the superior beds if we run the program. So I just need that to be prioritized, like so. And the workers will come along and get that built. We can see it is coming along now, which is excellent, although they went to this top jail door, which still haven't put the door servers on, but it doesn't really matter because there's nothing to... Well, the bit that they're supposed to be operated from is there, so it's not built. Right, this is all sorted. Let me go to lighting and put some lighting in like so. That should be fine. They're still working over here and on the flooring. No prisoners made to eat there. That's fine. Right, let me go to deployment of patrols, and I will set up a... We've already got guards in there, that's fine. We're going to assign a dog handler there and there. Actually, there. I'll remove that section. I've put them all the way down for this side. It doesn't really matter, but it is what it is. I could do with some more dog handlers, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's fine. And then what we're going to do is check out our inmates. So anyone that is a snitch, so Jason Jazz Schneider, you are now a protective custody inmate. Same for ex-prison guard. Let me double check. Prisoners once a police officer or some other law enforcement profession, their life may be in danger. They are, however, volatile, which is a problem, but they're protective custody as well. We have in a dealer, extremely strong. There's loads of extremely strong because of the traits that have been passed over. We also have a federal witness. Now, the federal witness... Prisoners witness an important legal case, such as being targeted by death by a gang or a crime boss. So we don't have gangs or crime bosses, so they shouldn't be targeted. Shouldn't. Game. Shouldn't. Let's see how wrong that that statement is. Okay. So workshop safety induction's being ran, which is all good. We are still trying to do the prisoner reoffending rate, which we're up to 38%. It's actually gone up by... Oh, it's now dropped to 36. Okay. So we'll do what we can. Right. So this is done. This is done. So none of these guys can move into the middle. That's not... That shouldn't be the case. They should always be around here. Okay. Let's see if that's... It's because of this this here. So this is all protective custody, and then what happens is the entranceway, the reception, and the corridor that feeds the middle here, that is all staff only, which means we shouldn't have any access around here. Whether or not it's true or not is TBC. Let me just put some lighting in here, because it looks a bit, well, it's a bit, yeah, a bit dull. And that should be fine. Now, those will be outdoor lights. Even though they are just designated as lights, once they're placed outside, they actually look a bit different. They look like that. That's like pedestal light type of thing. And we'll probably have to sort that out. Okay, so we have these corner bits here, and people have very much said they would like them to be some sort of area for... why can't I move that? Prioritize and move that, please. It says move to laundry. So change that area and this area, potentially this area anyway, to a solitary. And I think that's a decent idea. So let's build that. So it's like that. And like that. It'll look a bit strange. This one I'm just going to go along like that. And then for that one, we'll have solitary door secure. Which is that, I believe. Yep. And then we're going to go for solitary. And I'm not going to put in any toilets or anything like that, because they've always got handcuffs on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So we'll see. There's some more inmates who've returned. Let me just slow it down for a bit. Paul McAvoy. Let's have a check of their experience. 1 hour in the prison. Estimated reoffending chance 97%. They're a foodie. Reoffended and returned to your prison. Okay. Fine. What about here? Snitch, we have Sitims. Now, I do want to obviously put them into protective, but I'll wait until they've been sorted and went through, because otherwise it can be a problem. Yeah. A couple of mods that people have mentioned, actually. I just wanted to cover this. Firstly, it might be called the snitch sorter. When people come in, if they have the trait of snitch, they're automatically put in protective custody. Same as a one to change up. Oh yeah, there you go. There's all the lights. All different. They're different from the standard lights. They're the same object, but they just look different based on whether they're indoors or outdoors. Nice little touch. Yeah, what was I saying? So the snitch sorters, as well as the changing of the regime. So the regime, you can have sleep across the board. You can have 24 hours of sleep if you really want to, but it's not going to work because the inmates only sleep from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. And it just means that, you can't have the 3 split sort of regime. There are obviously mods to sort that out. I'm going to try and run as best I can vanilla and see how we get on with it. But I'm not opposed to changing it up if we need to. But, we're fighting. Fighting, maybe not the right term. We are working within the confines of the game. Needs seem alright. Staff needs also seem to be fine. It's not great, but it's good enough. So, yeah. Okay, let me just double check that inmate. So I'm just going to run all around here. And where is that other inmate? There they are. Sitims, protective custody. Okay, so we have an opportunity to build programs. I think I'm going to build in here, I think a chapel. It would fit. Or I could have this as a chapel. I don't think I want visitation. It's it's not really a thing. The problem with... I want parole, but I don't want visitation because there's so much stuff being brought in. And as we see from the needs, we don't need it. The family needs... There's a tiny bit there. There's a need. The rest of it is all green and satisfied. So I'm not too concerned on that one, but I would like a chapel, mainly because in programs, if we go down here, we can see that 17 people are wanting spiritual guidance. So here might be a decent place for it, but it means moving parole, and parole needs a 5x5, and these are sadly a 4. So it'd have to be in... I'm going to say parole there, and move this along. It's a bit of a waste of space. I would love it to go in there. Again, there are mods that allow you to have the size altered. In fact, there's in the game bureaucracy, one of the things you can get is small cells, but it is strictly that, small cells. Let me go for offshore tax haven, actually. Means more money coming in. So yeah, if I change that to parole and move the visitor table over, this will be better. Why am I moving it over? Well... because this is better flooring, perhaps, for the chapel. So we'll do that. So there's parole. Dismantle object. There's the rest of it. And then chapel. Like so. And... we'll put all the rest of it in. Altar. There's no middle regardless of what I do. So it can go there. Pews, which I think that's the right orientation. And then prayer mats, which I just tend to dump on that side. Okay. So I'll prioritize that. Double check in here. Not seeing anything major there. No, these are all in here. I do need some CCTV cameras. I'm going to go for one in there, one in there, one in there. I don't think I'm going to be able to connect them up though. Oh no, I will, from here. So wiring, connections. 1, 2, 3, yes, because this one here... while I'm on as well, phone tap. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I was to have phone taps in the cell blocks, those would go in the security rooms. These security rooms with the CCTV monitor and door control systems I actually really like. For a start, it's a good distribution of the equipment. It means that you've not just got a lot of wires. Hang on. I'll get there in the end. Wiring. A lot of wires going to the same area. Visually, it's just a bit better. It's also, you know that anything needs to be wired from this cell block goes to there. Security-wise, might be a problem, but we'll see. Prioritize, prioritize, prioritize. We'll see that getting prioritized. Which means we can then connect up 1, 2. Darn it. 3. Okay. So... what we also need to do now is alter the policy. So, for low risk, attacking staff is a solitary. Serious injuries is a solitary. Murders a solitary. The rest of it should be fine. Protective custody, I haven't got solitary, nor do I really plan on it. Now, I could easily put it in here. I could put 1, 2, 3 in if I really wanted to, but I don't think it's necessary. But that's good. That's in. Okay, so produce 10 superior beds. I wonder how we are on that program. We reschedule all programs because this was wrong. And spiritual guidance, we'll set that going. Just the one. So carpentry apprenticeships on the go. Foundation education, kitchen safety and hygiene, workshop safety induction, pharmacological treatment, alcoholics group. 100% passed. One in the queue, 4 past 4, finished 100%. Well done, then. That's brilliant of them. I'm proud. Better treat them than the doctor anyway. Right, so where do we go from here? Well, we're working on the grants. Parole is underway. We've got a couple of rooms here that we don't really have anything for. Let me just check the rooms then. Can't have a gym. We can have a shop, actually. Shop would work. And a mail room. Can't have a mail room. These should be ideally one more. If you are going to... Bit of a top tip. If you're going to have a room that you don't know what it's going to be, if you're just going to say, this is going to be something in the future, at minimum, make it a 5x5, because most things require you to have 5x5. It's on the average. So mailroom requires it. The shop is a 4x4. Gymnasium 7x7. Okay, bad examples. The library is a 5x5. Parole, if we've seen, is a 5x5. So yeah, forestry apparently is a 5x5, but it's outdoor. So technically I can put it in the middle here. So yeah, I would always recommend a 5x5. But shop. I think we're going to put a shop in... I think we're going to put... No, we don't need 2 shops. Let me just put one in here. I don't put one there and one there. I like the idea of shops either side. Shop counter in the middle. I don't want it right opposite. I like it like opposed like that for some reason. So the shop requires shop front. Hang on. Cancel. Cancel. Got something wrong here. Shop there. And while I'm on, cleaning cupboard. I'm going to put another one in there because we can. Right, shop. So, the shop front and shop counter. I think shop counter might be mod. But shop, the default one is shop front, which goes in the walls, which we've placed in. Oh, I've deleted that. Shop. We need shop shelves and a table. So shelves can go there and there, and then the table small can go in there. That's fine. And there's no way that worked out. Right, so those are in. We'll get those built. It means that the luxury need can then be fulfilled by the inmates, and obviously they are working, which means they can buy more things. Let me go over to prison labour, and we will assign people to the cleaning cupboard, people to the shops, like so. That's good. That's all right. Okay. So, the next question is, where do we build from here? Cash flow's at minus 7,000. Sorry? Why has that happened? Let me have a quick look. There's a 5,000 reoffending rate on that. We're actually breaking even on this, so I don't know. How curious. Okay, well, you can see all these are getting built. Shake down all sectors. That's fine. Reoffending rate is heading down. I'd very much like for the reoffending rate to get to a point where we can, well, get that done, really. But I am going to have to start construction. I really am. Reduce the reoffending rate down to 30%. I'd like to get that done before we have in the... Before we have in the... Oh, there's ex-law enforcement. Arthur Nukdi. Yes, I'd like to get that done before we get in any higher risk inmates. Okay. Let me just do a tunnel removal. Nothing there. But I'm happy the protective custody is all up and running, which is good. The inmates have... We're going to double check their needs here. Look at that. So they're looking after family and luxuries. They're also starving, apparently, so I don't know what's happening there. Is it because there's no food getting brought over to it? It is possible. I'm going to bring some more cooks in and also research myself. Micromanagement. Also recycling initiative, which I should have had a long time ago. And I could probably pick up legal. What will that afford us? Death row, no. Legal prep, no. Permanent punishments, not really. Although permanent punishments for supermax inmates would be good. I'm going to pick up legal anyway. There we go. Okay. So. Guys exercising. I don't think there's any critical needs, really. Just worried about the food here. Let's check out Arthur D. There is a food need and starving as well. So it might be that. Let's see. Micromanagement is halfway there. So I will check in a moment whether or not it's this. I definitely need, however, some more fridges. Like that. I will put some more cookers in because we can. Well, it means that's going to be a bit dodgy. I'll remove that cooker. Logistics, food distribution. It is being distributed. It is indeed. Right. This one has also got connections, but it doesn't actually mean that food is being supplied from this kitchen. It means that these food trays are being cleaned up. Because this should never serve any food that is made inside the normal body of the facility. The reason for that is the staff meals have to be brought in off-site because, you know, there could be tampering, let's just say. But we are getting the yeah, there is starving there. Let me double check the regime. Everything is all the same. So we're going to wait until it's eat time and see if this actually gets served up. I'm hoping it does. Things are getting cooked up, as you can see. It's now shower. It's now eat time. So all these inmates are coming in here, and they're not getting fed. That's a problem. And that's my problem to deal with. Right, okay. I'm going to leave it there for now. That's been a bit of prison architect. I am going to leave it there for now. As I said, we have a problem with food distribution. Oh no, now it's being distributed. Okay. There might have just been a backlog because we have eat there, but we don't have eat later on. Let me just try that. We'll give protective custody 2 bits of eat. That could be a temporary permanent solution. Let me pause it for a second because I've just realised we have 80 grand. And I believe a grant done. Yes. Reduce the average reoffending rate to 30%. It's 28. It's went under at some point. Well, that could be because of our programs. Work experience has got to 2, so it's the best you can really hope for in this game. And health is a 2, actually. Maybe because we were serving single meal with high quantity, high variety. Normally we do 2. Normally our regime is 2 eats at normal / medium quantity and variety for the policy. For this, yeah, meal quantity and variety, but we've got it as high. Either way, I'm pretty happy with that. Let me pick up Cell Block C, because next episode we're going to start construction on the wing to the north, which is going to be normal risk inmates. It means basically a cloning of this, although apparently I haven't finished everything off. There we go. And I'm also going to put in these because we can. But yeah, we do need to copy this over. I would very much like to just be able to copy it over and say, yay, done, but it is going to have to be somewhat manual. Not necessarily, really. I'd have to copy bits over I could clone a bit of it, change the floor, and then clone the bit that I've altered. I'd probably do that. Either way, that's the next construction project, and then once we've got that done, it means probably almost double the amount of inmates. But furthermore, it means that the regime will then definitely have to be split so that the inmates interact with each other at bare minimum in the middle. Let's see how we get on. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as always, we'll go from there. Hope you have enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.